everyone. Welcome to Gaming with a Dad. I'm the dad, Steve.
Who?
This is Zach, the gamer.
You use that controller, Steve.
Thanks everybody for watching.
Actually, I was kind of like bummed out because I was like, man, The Witcher kind of blew it out of the water. But then when I got to the cap of season 7, I was like, oh yeah, this is why I'm a Star Wars fan. They've tied the extended universe and the Clone Wars.
Did you watch all of The Witcher?
Yeah, I watched every last bit.
How was The Witcher?
Witcher was really good. Henry Cavill was really good. I feel like he's been vindicated in this part. He was vindicated in the Mission Impossible movie. Warner Brothers just didn't utilize him correctly for Superman, but he does really well in The Witcher. I mean, extremely well.
Oh, okay. Good. All right.
Yeah.
We're on the right planet now.
You know how long I've been waiting to hear someone say that to me?
Probably a few minutes since I've been looking.
Well, listen, acid's a hell of a drug, man. And,
All right, let's get some vehicles.
Let's go!
I forget what we did in the last episode, and we recorded it way more recently than we normally do. All right, so I got that one out of the way. Now the one that you might like. Who is the fighter in the UFC right now that no one wants to face?
Like, well, okay, don't pull me into this type of stuff. You gotta be more specific than that. No one wants to face because they're like a low draw. No one wants to face because they're the most difficult fight.
Yes, most difficult fight. Who's the most difficult fight in the UFC right now?
Oh man, I'm trying to think. I would say for anyone it would be Khabib. Like, right? No one wants to fight him other than the fact that he's champion. Why? Who are you thinking?
I'm not sure. I mean, there's a case to be made for like, I don't know, like Peter Yan. No one wants to fucking fight that guy.
Yeah.
Right? There's a case to be made for Aljamain Sterling. Literally, no one wants to fight that guy.
You know what's funny about Aljo? There was a time when anyone would fight him. Like, literally. That's how up and down his career's been.
Really?
Yeah. You know, it was funny because someone came to me and they were talking to me today about the Khabib-Tony fight. And they were, like, coming around to the fact that, you know, I was trying to explain to them why Khabib will more than likely dominate this fight in spite of how you feel about it.
Yeah.
And they finally came around and they're like, you know what, you're right. I don't think Tony's the guy to beat him. And I was like, yeah, my heart, obviously I want Khabib to lose, not because he's a bad guy. I mean, he hangs out with some pretty horrible people. But, you know, I just don't think Tony's got all of the skill set if we're just talking about his dirty boxing and his sloppy boxing and his jiu-jitsu. But we'll see. We'll see. And Khabib is like the worst type of champion to have right now for a lot of people because it's like not only is he dominant, but no one's even really giving him a way to beat him.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like no one's laid out a blueprint. Like, okay, this is what we're gonna do to the first and to the second, and he's gonna tire, right? It's
Right.
It's still
it's
basically
all bad. Okay.
survive.
Try to win a round. Yeah, I think the right answer is Khabib. But
Yeah.
I saw someone was making an argument that 135 might be the most interesting division right now.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, because obviously Cejudo's at the top, and then there's like it's a pretty deep division right now. I'm trying to think who's in it, right? Well, obviously Yan, Sterling, Aldo, Marias,
Right.
right? All of those guys, like it's a pretty stacked division.
You think all those stays?
Yeah. I think Aldo gets the next title shot, unfortunately. Wait, what are we doing, dude? Oh my god, your dog's in the way. Oh, okay. There we go.
Chewy. Dude, I tell you, we might be getting 2 more dogs.
What?
Yep.
2 more?
Golden Doodles. Don't know for sure yet.
Really? I don't like this gun. I seem to never like any of my guns.
You know what it is? You got Tarkov blues, dude. You're playing a superior game, and now you're playing with guns that aren't as accurate, and it's bumming you out, dude.
Dude.
I can totally hear it.
I've had some crazy raids recently. Like
I
one
can
of the ones,
I can
one
hear
of
it in
the
your
ones,
voice, man.
one of the ones that we did earlier. Like I don't know what made me do this, but I sat in an area way too long where I should have just went up with arcs while he was looting. But I ended up getting like 5 kills and just got lit up. But I had like good armor on, so I didn't get affected at all.
Oh, that's
And
sick.
it was really fun.
That's really sick. Yeah, man, it's just I got to punch in my weight class. Not ready for that type of game yet.
No, you would be so nervous. You get like anxiety, like multiplayer anxiety, and like COD. That game is so crazy, dude.
Actually, Halo's helped me out with my anxiety a little bit.
Halo's good at that because there's so many engagements, and they don't seem as critical as like that one COD engagement that you lose, and it seems like you lost an entire position.
Like my family's life was depending on it. I'm like, no!
Every engagement in Tarkov feels like. Like I had one earlier where like me and Arks both like missed like let's say 5 shots.
Right.
And
holy shit.
Because some of the maps are really laggy, and this happened to be a particularly laggy map for whatever reason. And the guy was just running in like a weird zigzag pattern, and we both just missed 4 or 5 shots. And then finally just click headshot dead.
I was watching Shroud and his buddy play one day, man, and it really like
even Shroud sometimes just gets dropped.
Yeah, he gets dropped, but these kids definitely they came up against
this guy.
We came against the wrong one, and Shroud only heard one of them stepping, and that gave away the entire team's position. Murdered them. It's like, I was like, oh man, that is brutal.
Yeah, dude. Like you make a mistake in that game. Like, even just miscommunication between the people that you're playing with, and one of you is dead.
All right, so let me ask you a question, man. Were you big into PUBG and stuff like that?
Yeah, I played a lot of it.
All right, so I was watching some Tarkov, and I'll tell you why I brought up PUBG. I've seen a similarity in the sense that there seems to be a huge map, and it can be a long time that goes by without any engagements.
Two different games, though.
2 different games for sure, but is that what builds the tension? And are there any similarities?
No, what builds the tension is the high risk reward.
Okay.
Right? The high risk reward in Tarkov is you could go in with $1.5 million kit, get hit in the head 5 times, and you're dead. Right? From a spot that maybe you didn't even see. That just happens. There's really not like a way around that, really. But in PUBG, excuse me, I'm still getting over being sick. In PUBG, it's just like you die, whatever, another game, like you're good. There's not, the risk reward is there in PUBG, but not to the same severity that it is in Tarkov. Because if you die in PUBG, you just lost the loot that you had that game, right? You don't get to keep loot. Like, that's it. That loot is that loot. And, you don't like lose anything from your bank. Tarkov, you go in, you get to keep like 9 items. And 9 single slot items, right? Essentially. And that's it. That AK that I really like, that I use, that there's a chance that I never come home with that again.
Really?
Right. If I go in with that, like I have all my stuff insured, but if someone picks that up and leaves with it, I'd never get that gun back.
That's, yeah. I don't like that. Oh, Chewie, no.
That's why I suggested maybe you don't buy that. But it's cool when you go in with a pistol. You maybe get a jump on a guy who wasn't expecting you to be there or who had just been in another firefight. You kill him, and now you have a full kit, right? You have 2 assault rifles, you have armor, you have a helmet, you have a giant backpack, you have money, you have stuff that's valuable. Like, that feeling of going in and succeeding in the game is, no other game has that. That's what's so incredible about the game.
Right.
The lowest lows and the highest highs.
It looks like a lot of fun, man. I just know that fun is tempered with a lot of anxiety.
Yeah.
What are some other anxiety-ridden games you've ever played? Riddled games you've ever played before?
DayZ.
Oh yeah.
Very similar because it's a 1 life game. So you go in and you have nothing, and you go collect loot. You get bigger, essentially, and then eventually you have everything that you need to survive, and when you die, you lose everything. There is no bank to go back to like there is in Tarkov.
Right.
There is nothing. You start off again as a Bambi, right? Is what Frankie on PC called him. You know, you go back in and
Oh shit.
you have nothing. Rust is the same way, but you have a base in Rust, which is much more accessible than a base you would have in DayZ, potentially. Like, any of those survival games.